So I think we can probably pretty much almost assume that the Labour Civil War is over. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, here's a brief rundown. Pretty much ever since Jeremy Corbyn was elected to be leader of the Labour Party, New Labour, which Jeremy Corbyn is not a part of, have pretty much been against him and out to get him at any opportunity they potentially can. They are the ones that are behind, oh, Corbyn won't win an election. And now you have, with the recent election, where you wonder what would have happened if the Labour Party, I mean all the Labour Party, was actually behind Corbyn. They might have actually won the election and actually been in power today. It would have been Jeremy Corbyn going to see the Queen about forming the government, not Theresa May. So we have pretty much an end, because after this, no one of the New Labour can now go out and say that Corbyn can't win an election. What happens now to the remains of New Labour? And it's essentially quite simple. They either get with the programme or they get out. We will have to see what happens in the coming couple of weeks and probably months to see what their reaction is, how they will react and how they will go forward. But pretty much at this point, Old Labour has reasserted itself within the party and are once again the dominant force within the Labour Party. So, bravo to Jeremy Corbyn and bravo to Old Labour, and shame on New Labour for, during an election, not getting behind your party leader and pushing, to win the general election. They were absolutely terrible at trying to do this. Now, one of the biggest casualties, well, sort of casualties, was Nick Clegg. Nick Clegg got beat out by Labour in his Sheffield seat. In fact, all of South Yorkshire, I believe, pretty much went red. So once again, it's the Socialist Republic of South Yorkshire reasserting its dominance. So we'll keep a close eye on, see what happens. And at this point, though, they have no leg to stand on. If you remember, prior to the election, there were a couple of these New Labour people who basically said, look, if Corbyn loses the election and doesn't go, then we will splinter off and make our own party. Will that still be on the cards for these people? Will they have the will, the political will now, to go and do it? And what will be the public perception of a party that decides that, well, one section of the party decides to split and go off? We currently don't know. Again, as I said, we don't know if this will happen. Labour gained massively during this election. They didn't manage to unseat Theresa May, but they did manage to pretty much wipe out her majority and was left just holding just under the majority that she needed. That's why she's gone with the DUP, which will be a hilarious coalition. Once again, we are under a coalition government, so we'll have to see what happens. But again, we'll keep a weather eye out to see what happens.